What's up, everybody? So we're doing another case study. And as you guys are coming into the room, say hello. If you're watching the replay, say hello. Let us know that you're there. I want to welcome you guys in. I've been doing these case studies because I really want to show you how to level up in your business. And it's one thing to have Shamika saying, you could do it, or this is what you can do. And you guys are like, oh, Shamika, you've been doing this for a long time. There's all this stuff. So I like to bring my clients on who are just like you and let them tell you what their journey has been like. So today, I have Chandra Brooks with me, and we're going to introduce her in a second. I just want to take a quick moment. Chandra, I'm so glad you're doing this. She's like in between appointments, like hanging out at a little cafe so that she can do this live stream with you guys. But guys, let us know you're there. Like, okay, here's the deal. Y'all know I'm a church girl, right? So where I come from in church, everybody stands up, claps, they say amen, they say holler, they do all kinds of stuff. So in order for me to know that you're there, because on live stream, I can't see you, I need you to talk back to me and say you're there. If we're talking about something and it resonates with you, let us know. The other thing that I want to share with you is if this does resonate with you, I'm going to pull up something really quick. I want you to share this thing out, right? Share this with people because people need to know what's available to you. People need to know what the possibility is. And so things like this are meant as encouragement, but it's also meant to show what's possible. Okay, so if this is speaking to you or you know someone who would benefit from this conversation, and we're going to get down into the nitty gritty, like here's the thing that happens most often, and I could be like totally paused right now. I don't know if my internet's working right or not. Here's the thing that happens most often. Most often, when we see somebody succeeding, we think that it came easy for them. And so a lot of times people will share case studies, testimonials, and they just talk about the wins like it happened overnight. I want to share the behind the scenes. I want to talk about the courage factor, what it took to get here. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I want to welcome you guys into the room. Let's see who's here with us. Welcome, guys. Let me see. We got Malika in the room. I don't know if it's Malika or Malika. I'm going to say Malika.
Looks like Malika.
We got Amelia in the house.
Hey.
Hey. There's more people joining. So here's the deal, guys. I'm having internet problems today. So things may happen. Don't panic. We got it under control, right? Here's what I know, though. When there is a powerful conversation to be had, all kinds of opposition will come up. When you are leveling up,
yes,
that's what could happen. So welcome into the room. We're going to get started. So here's what I'm going to do. Chandra, I'm going to give you the opportunity to say hey to the people, to tell them who you are, tell them what awesome badassness you're doing in the world. So let's start there.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming on today and joining me and Shamika. I'm excited to be here. I'm Chandra Brooks, also known as a socialpreneur. And the reason why I came up with that name is because I'm from a background of politics and community. And I figured out a way to turn that into a business. So I bring my social activism skills and have turned it into a business. I coach women who are getting ready to run for political office, and also women that are want to change the world, and they have a passion and they have a movement, and teach them how to turn that into something where they can share this story on stages, in a book, on a platform, in a business, and that's what I do. I'm also the founder of the Powerhouse Academy, and it's a program for powerful women that want to share their message with the world, and they just don't know how to do that. That's what I do.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to bring myself back in here, trying to work on this internet issue. Maybe it's just on my end.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're here. So if for those of you who don't know, Chandra just celebrated a huge month for herself.
for me to get there. I think she's coming back on. There she is. Hey, she's back.
Go ahead and keep going. Okay. I'm thinking about moving this to Zoom, just so that we don't have any interruptions. So go ahead and keep talking for right now, and then I may jump back on in a second.
Okay. So like I said, I had my biggest month in January, and I had just started working with Shamika in December, and it was several months before that I was looking at watching her and seeing other friends that had worked with her and seeing their successes and just paying close attention. And I really like to feel people out before I work with them and follow them and make sure we're a good connection. And I knew I needed somebody like Shamika to work with. I knew I needed somebody who was that was not scared to tell me the real deal, to who wasn't intimidated by me. You know, I find that to happen a lot. But somebody who can really get inside of me and really push me to my next level. I needed that push. And like I said, I watched her, I liked her style, and I decided to move forward because I really needed that help in sales. I felt like I had my visibility down. I felt like I knew my niche. I knew the direction I was going. I didn't need anybody to really motivate me or help me find who my ideal clients were or what kind of business I needed to go into. I knew all this stuff. I needed the confidence in sales. I was lacking sales skills. I never came from sales. I didn't know how to do sales. I just not that person. I knew how to market. I think I knew how to put myself out there and be visible. But when it came down to sales, that's the skill that I needed the help in. And that's when I decided to move forward with Shamika.
Awesome. All right. So we're gonna hang this out. We're gonna stick this out. Okay. So I want to talk about some of the behind the scenes. Hey, Kim, I want to talk about some of the behind the scenes because this is where people look at you or they may look at me and go, okay, well, that's easy for you because you're such a badass or you're such a powerhouse.
Right.
And I want to talk about that. So you've made like a crap ton of investments in your business leading up to the decision to work with me. And for a lot of people, that's a scary thing to do, because if you've invested, you're like, well, maybe I need to spend some time with these investments that I had.
Yeah.
What was the turning point for you to go, you know what, I need to, for lack of a better term, bite the bullet and just do this thing?
Mm-hmm. Because I know the value in investing in myself and in my business. I'm very confident in what I do and how I do it. And I knew I needed some help, my outside help. And the coaching that I've had before has worked, right? It has worked, and I knew the value in it, and I knew that I needed to do it. It was just a priority. It was just a sacrifice because I'm still new to business. You know, I'm in my second year, so I knew that this sacrifices I have to make in order to develop my business and scale it to where I wanted to scale it to. I knew I had to make the initial sacrifices now and not later.
Okay. So let's talk about this thing. This happens so often where I'm working with my clients, and in their mind, because they're such high achievers, they're nowhere near where they want to be. So, you know, if your goal is to have a $500,000 business or a multiple $1 million business and you're doing $10,000 a month, all you know is you're not where you need to be. And you're running, trying to get where you need to be. So we came to this point 2 weeks into January where I'm like, okay, let's look at your numbers. Where are you? Right? This is what we've done. You're starting your second cohort of your Powerhouse Academy. Let's look at your numbers. And we're adding everything up. And I'm like, holy crap. It's 2 weeks into the year and you're at $38,000 already. And she's like, huh?
Totally oblivious.
And so I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, and it's not just you, right? It's also this high achiever complex that we have, where every time we are trying to accomplish a goal, we're so future focused, we forget to stop and celebrate our wins, which is why I tell my clients to do two things. One, celebrate the journey, every step along the way, every win that you have. Don't wait till the final win to start celebrating. And the second thing is, we deal in reality. When you can master your reality, what are the facts? What are the numbers? You will show up as a better person, but you'll give yourself the credit that you deserve. So I think now, so we're at the end of the month, we're the last day of the year. Do you know what your numbers are right now? I think the last time I counted, about $3,000 for the year.
And
Where
a
are
little
you
bit
now?
more. I added speaking engagements that I've just locked in. So I'm close to actually 48.
Okay.
now.
So first of all, where's my clappers? I don't even know what I did with my clappers. I have to find them. First of all, we need to celebrate you. So can you guys shout it out for Chandra? Because she's had this is her second month working with me. This is her first month of 2019. And what did you say? $48,000?
Yeah.
Is where you are?
Not exact, but pretty close. Yeah. Yeah.
So her goal for this year is 6 figures. Can we say that we're going to do that this year? Like,
yes.
It's a definite, right? Yes. But let's talk about this mastering reality. Let's talk about your journey of not even recognizing where you were.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was definitely a journey and definitely an eye-opener. And it built my confidence, of course. But also, I'm just so zoned in and just making it happen and doing the work that I'm not looking at that. You know, I wasn't looking at my numbers, and I should. You know, for everybody that is on here, it's really pay attention to your numbers. And that's something I'm learning from Shamika too. And, you know, as a new business owner, it's hard because you're a one-man show, one-woman show, and you have to do the marketing, you have to do the development, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I don't want to be the damn accountant, honestly. You know, I don't, but I have to. For now, I have to look at my numbers, have to pay attention to them, and I have to know what's coming in and what's going out. You know, I'm really good at paying for stuff, right? And just investing, but knowing everything coming in and everything going out. Really have to pay attention to that. I'm getting better. I'm not where I want to be, but definitely getting better. But you know, you're teaching me how to do that and not be scared, because I was scared. And the reason why I was scared is because I wasn't making what I wanted to make last year. I was scared to look at it. And everything that I was making, I was investing back in me, which was a good thing, right? It was a good thing for me to invest in myself. But I wasn't paying attention to what was coming in and what was coming out until you made me in December. Like, look at your numbers. How much did you bring in last year? I didn't even know.
Yeah. And you tried not to answer me. You tried to.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
Yeah. I'm like, that's the first step to getting where you want to go is knowing where you are, not pretending like you know where you are. Like, you can't just be like, well, I'm somewhere in California and I'm trying to get to New York. Well, it depends on where you are in California, which road you have to take. So we need to know exactly where you are. And so that happened again this week.
Yes.
So this week we jump on a call for a mastermind, and I ask everybody, what's your goal for the year? Let's put it out there. And I asked this several times leading up to the year, and it could change. So I'm asking again, what are we shooting for? So the numbers start flying. Chandra gives me her number, right? What was your number? Do you remember?
120,000.
Okay. So 120 is what she wants to do this year. She's almost halfway there, right?
Yeah.
First month of the year. So that number is probably going to change by the end of this quarter. We'll look at it again. Yeah. But so the next day, because this is how I roll, guys. So the next day I shoot all my clients an inbox message, because I'm like, I know they just thought that was the end of it. I shoot them a message. And I'm like, okay, so what does it take for you to get there? What do you need to do every month? What'd you send me back? What was the first thing you sent me back?
I said, I need 3 clients or something. Something like that. I need 3 clients.
Yeah, 3 clients at $3,000 to be $9,000 a month. This is why I'm bringing this up. You are stuck because you are not dealing in reality. That's an arbitrary number. Yes, if I get 3 clients at $3,000, that's 9. That was fake. That wasn't her reality, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, can I get some real numbers? Like, those aren't real numbers. So she begins to give me real numbers. She already has clients and contracts. So by the time we're done, we realize that she doesn't need $9,000 a month. She's already almost there with monthly recurring, not fresh sales, not full pays, monthly recurring that will ensure that she makes that revenue, which is why I know that it's quite possible that this can be a multiple 6-figure year for you with some consistency, but that's in dealing in reality. What happens is our past will hold our future captive. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that again. What happens is that your past will hold your future captive. The fact that she hadn't hit her goals last year kept her not looking at her numbers because she was afraid to look at it. And it was holding her future captive. It had her overestimating 2 things. what she thought she needed to create in order to get there. So she thought she was further away than she actually was. When we deal in reality, you can pat yourself on the back and go, oh my gosh, I'm kicking butt right now, today, this month, and I can make this thing happen when you're dealing in reality.
Yeah.
Do you want to share something about that, Chandra?
Yeah, I think that I don't know if I wasn't working with you, if I would just would have continued on this road, right? I would have continued on the road of blinders on what I was bringing in. I was just focused on getting the clients, focused on getting the clients and paying my bills, and I don't want to, that's not a good foundation for a business, a sustainable business.
Right.
So, I was definitely traumatized by last year, and thinking, and the pressures of, and I think a lot of us go through this as women, and if we're married and if we're in a relationship. My husband has been in a working for AT&T for like 30 years now, and he's worked, and never thought about being an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurship is new to him, and it's kind of totally nothing that he's ever thought of or wanted to do. So that pressure from the partner, of saying, okay, well, what are we going to do? You go back to work and you do this part-time because he knows what I have going is good, and he believes in me, but he's just like, okay, we got to figure something out. We got to figure out what you're going to do. So, that pressure from the spouse and from your family, but also having a vision and knowing that I can do better, and that I have gold. I have gold here, but how do I get it out there to the world?
Thank you for sharing that. So I want to talk about this with everybody who's watching this live or on the replay. I want you to think about, have you had this conversation, if you have a spouse, partner, whatever, that has been telling you when your business is going to make the money, right? Yeah. Or like, maybe you should go get, our family member, maybe you should go get a job. How many of us have heard that conversation? Now I want you to take a step back. If that's you, you don't have to raise your hand live, but I want you to think about that conversation. How many of you are actually dealing in reality? Chandra can have a different conversation with her husband now because I made her look at the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look what I've done, and it's only month one. If you can deal in reality, what is your actual reality of what you have created, cash you brought in, revenue you've booked out, and what that projection, if you were to do that over and over again, month over month over month, it's a different conversation with your family. Now you are a real business owner. Yeah. Right? But you have to master reality. You cannot let your future hold your path, hold your future captive.
Right.
So tell me the reaction when you actually realize, like right now, you're paying attention and you're adding more money to it as more money comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have a realization of where you are, like last year you wanted to do 6 figures, and last year you made just under $40,000 for the entire year.
Yeah.
You're already there, and it's month one. When you came to the realization, like, holy crap, this is going to happen. Like, tell me what that was like for you.
It's empowering, it's empowering, and it's motivating to keep you going in your business. I mean, that's what motivates me, is when I know that I have something and people want it and people get results from it. So, just the empowerment to know that I can do it, right? Going through the whole year and not hitting my goals was very disempowering. I wasn't empowered. So it's affecting my daily actions. It's affecting my work. So this empowers me. It affects my work and affects my growth every day, to feel empowered to do it. That's the difference, right? That's the difference from last year to this year, just from this month. I mean, if I can do that in this month, imagine what I can do next month. I mean, the sky's the limit to me at this point. Right?
How are you showing up differently in your business now, like from 2 weeks ago?
So it's so different, but where I'm showing up the most is even like negotiating my speaking fees. Before I was like, because I come from the nonprofit community world, Shamika, that. And, we talked about that. It's like, I've donated my speaking, being an MC, being a keynote speaker. Anybody would say, do you have a fee? I'm like, no, I'll do it for free. You know, even when they asked me if I had a fee, I used to do it for free because I come from that charity and giving my time all the time until I really figured out my value. So now we negotiate. You know, it's not free anymore. We negotiate my fee. And if I'm going to be able to sell from the stage, am I going to be able to sell books? You know, it depends on how, you know, depending on how much you're going to pay me as my, you know, as an honorarium, you know, all that, I'm more confident. And if they say they don't have a budget, then I don't do the event. It's plain and simple.
I love that you've given yourself boundaries, because here's the deal.
Yeah.
Somehow in this life, we've gotten this notion that working for free or being not rich or broke is somehow noble, more noble, or makes you more pious or more honorable in some way or more humble in some way. And then you're walking around disgruntled and mad because you didn't get paid and you've done all this work. And you've done all this.
I'm telling you.
How many guys are doing that?
Can I just say something about that, Shamika? Is that
sure.
I had a clarification, even like I think November, December with that. It was like I felt guilty for turning my knowledge and my expertise into a business. I think that was part of holding me back last year too, is I felt guilty for asking for money for things that I've been doing for free for several years. I felt that guilt. Okay. Until I really started seeing results. And I was like, you know what? Hell no, I'm not going to do this for free anymore. This is valuable to people. And they didn't start paying me for it. But I felt like I can't do any good for anybody being broke. I can do more. If I'm wealthy and if I have the money, I can give to more charities, right? I can give more of my time because I have the freedom to do that. Right.
Right. Not obligation.
Exactly. But also I'll be in abundance and I'll be able to give more. I can't do that if I'm going to be giving myself for free, giving my services and products for free. I can't do it that way.
Absolutely. I love that this led to this conversation, because I think so many people find themselves in that position. And then you look up and your revenue's not what you want it to be. But if you look at all the times where you just said, oh, no problem, I'll just do it, when that's not really what you wanted, or you when you look back at those moments, you realize, wow, it's my own fault. My boundaries need to be a bit higher. And once you get your baseline revenue where know that you're stable, you're right. You can give back. You can do scholarships to your program, but you can't do that when you're broke, when you need that money coming in, when your business is cash poor, when you can't pay yourself, all of those things, it has to shift. So I have two more questions I want to ask you that I think will be of service to people of this journey. So the first thing that I want to ask you is, if you had to give them 3 things that you thought were most important for them to allow themselves to receive at this level, or for them to have a breakthrough that would lead them to having their biggest month ever, possibly making all the revenue that they created last year in 1 month, what would those 3 things be?
One is to get clear. Make sure that you get very clear on what you do and your service and what you provide. That is a priority. Working on your mindset is second. Being confident in what you do. Hold
on. Let me take you back to get clear, because this is important. Okay. Let's have this conversation, because last year I watched Chandra from afar. You guys know I do what I call a hit list, right? There's people that I want to work with, and Chandra was on that list. And so I watched her and we had this conversation, and I was like, you can't hire me if you're doing all the stuff that you're doing. Like, you need to make up your mind. Are you a speaker coach? Are you what are you doing? Until you decide, there's no working together, right? And so I think this goes even deeper, because sometimes when you have lack, when you want to make more money, you think the way that you're going to make more money is by diversifying what you do. Because let's just be honest, y'all are brilliant. Yeah. Y'all are brilliant and badass at a lot of stuff, right? One of my clients, Tessa, is really, she explains this really well. This is what I've done, and this is what I teach my clients to do. She's like, you're like the mama or the mother in the church who has a big, deep purse. And I come to you and I'm like, I need this. Do you got a sandwich? Do you got a cookie? And you just dig in your purse and you find whatever I need out of it. That's how you should run your business. Like, the front of your business is the thing that you're known for, but people who hire you get everything that you got once they're on the inside. So let's talk about this decision to stop throwing out, like, I work with nonprofits, I do speaking and all of that stuff, and then really focus into Powerhouse Academy.
Oh my God, that was the breakthrough right there, because I can do a whole lot of things really well, right? So I thought, because I'm a new business owner, I just do everything, right? I have a smorgasbord of a menu of items that I can help you with. And that just wasn't working. That didn't work. And, you really helped me streamline. I was already thinking about the Powerhouse Academy, but, really refining it and saying, this is what, I can't even remember if I had already created it before we started working together or I created it after. I can't wrap my head around that right now, but I know I was already thinking about it and just focusing on that. But I was still like throwing up, hey, I can help you with your nonprofit or write grants or blah, blah, blah. And, I was just all over the place. Right. And now I see it, because when I see other people doing it, it's like, I sell credit and I also am a coach, I also do this, but I also sell credit on the side and all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So
like, I pay that's not going to get you where you want to
go. And once I focus on the Powerhouse Academy only and raise my prices, that's when I sold the most. I wasn't selling when my prices were $297, $197, $47, when I was doing workshops and, webinars. I didn't sell the most until I raised my price and understood my value and created the Powerhouse Academy. That was a wake-up call to just focus on one thing.
It's so crazy. Like, you raise your prices and you sell more. It's still, my clients still, like, it blows their mind. Can't wrap their mind around it. They're like, I couldn't sell the thing at $97, but at $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, people, like, one of my clients just raised her prices again to $10K, and she still has people paying in full. She's like, mind blown. I was trying to give the same service away for $197 and not a single person would sign up for it. And now at $10,000, people are paying me in full. I hope you guys are hearing this.
Yeah. I would never believe it unless I did it. I would not believe it.
Awesome. Okay. So what was number 2? You said number 2 was something else.
Mindset.
Mindset.
Right? Yeah. Getting the mindset. And I feel like I'm a confident person. I feel like I'm very confident, but when it comes to my services and what I do, sometimes I have those serious doubts, am I good enough? I have the imposter syndrome that creeps in. I have the, well, so-and-so's better at me than that. And so, comparing myself to other people. And I have to stop doing that. And I actually am getting better every day. It's a daily practice that you have to get better at. And it doesn't work unless you're doing what you're good at. If you are like, this is what I tell other people too. If your life is a mess and you're trying to teach people how to live their dream life and you're not living your dream life, how are you teaching people how to live their dream life when you ain't living your dream life?
Say that again. Say that
again. If you are not living your dream life, how are you teaching other people how to do it? If you are not making money in your business, how are you teaching people how to make money in their business? So right. You have to make sure that you're doing what you're good at and doing, that you're about that life, that you're really about that life that you are teaching. And this is how I came up with the Powerhouse Academy, because I'm like, everybody calls me a powerhouse and I feel like a powerhouse on all the things that I'm able to accomplish. That's why I only teach people how to be a powerhouse, because that's all I know how to do. Right?
Come on now.
Teach people what you know. Okay. If not, people are going to see it and people are going to know and be able to say, oh, how is she's still working a full-time job and she's telling me how to make money in my business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So let's talk about this a little bit, because they're like, oh, that's not mindset. Yeah, it is. Because this is why you can't sell your stuff.
Yeah.
It burns me up to see people trying to teach people how to do something that they learned in a course that they haven't mastered.
Right.
The thing that you're trying to avoid selling, because it comes so easy to you, is the thing you should be charging the most for and should be selling. But because you don't have to work so hard for it, you want to make it hard. You want to try to, sell how to do a 52-step funnel when you don't even have a funnel that works. Like, that's not what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Sell the thing that you can just sit in a room and talk to somebody for hours about. And this is what builds your power player mindset. This is what gets your mindset to the point where you're like, I can sell it, because your energy and your confidence and your ability to do it will allow you to sell anything at any price point to anyone.
Right. Exactly.
Because you know that you know that you know when they part with those dollars, they're going to get what they came for.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So it is definitely mindset. So that's number 2.
Okay.
And the third one is stop caring what people think. Stop caring about what people think, because like you say, Shamika, they're not your people, right? If they have something to say about what you're doing, or they have an opinion, they're going to buy from you anyway. Right?
Yeah.
They've been hating from afar already. So don't worry about those people, you know, and if you have people that are following you, delete them, block them, whatever you need to do. Those people that you're worried about, do what you need to do to focus, because there's people out there that need you. And those are the people that you inspire every day.
So here's the deal. I know that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Because we want to know that we're inspiring people. We want to know that our words matter to people. And so we look for validation from outside, but the validation has to start with you, right? Mm-hmm. You make a decision to do something, you're afraid to post or go live because you think some hater is going to come out of the woodwork and start saying, well, I know her dirty laundry. I know she failed, last year, 5 years ago, all of this stuff. And it never happened, right? So I love the fact that you said stop caring, because honestly, that's probably the biggest thing for most people. They think somebody's going to come out like Homer Simpson out of that from behind those bushes and be like, who do you think you are to be telling people this or charging that or selling that thing or trying to speak on these stages? And that fear of that judgment holds you captive, and you subconsciously keep yourself small. I hope you're hearing me, and sabotage yourself from what's possible. You now have a new realm of possibility, Chandra. You know what it's like to create a 30K month, a 40K month. Now it's just a matter of putting it on repeat, right? That could not have happened had you not stepped out of your comfort zone. And I know over the last few weeks, there was a lot of work, right? It was a lot of, sometimes I was just floating on Facebook at 11 o'clock at night in Chandra's inbox, like, what are you doing? What was that? That was in December when you made an offer. I don't remember what it was. It was like a intensive with you for $300 or something like that. I was like, if you don't delete that offer.
I don't even remember either. So it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
This constant process of reminding yourself who you are, reminding yourself that you are a badass, and getting in reality with your numbers, because your numbers will tell you. Listen to the people that see, this is what happens. Somebody comes and says, man, you're such a powerhouse. And you're like, no, not really, because I don't have $1 million business. Right. And then that becomes the story, as opposed to you accepting it and going, you know what? That's me. I am. Like one of my friends, her name is Molly Mahoney. I love her. She has this thing when somebody gives you a compliment or says like, oh, you're so powerful, instead of you being like, oh, thank you, and being like, she's like, no, just you go, that's me. That's me. And that begins to write a different story for you, right? So that you show up differently. So you absolutely have to stop caring. I love what Katie just said. She said, it's none of my business what others think of me.
Exactly.
Let's see if I can get that up. It's none of my business what others think of me.
That's right.
If you can make that your mantra, it ain't none of my business. That's on you. However you think or you see me, and guys, don't get me wrong. I have these conversations too. When I come out talking about how badass I am and what I do, like I know my stuff, that your world's going to change. I'm a magician. I say all kinds of stuff. And then there's moments where I'm alone with my own thoughts.
Yeah.
Because it's 40 years of conditioning. The who do you think you are conversation tries to rear its ugly head. And then I think about the women that I've helped and the ones yet unknown whose faces I've yet to see that I'm meant to help. And it makes me rise to the occasion.
Right. Yes. That's it. And you just hit it there too. 40 years of conditioning, you know, and you have to give yourself some slack, right? A little bit. You're not going to turn into this, I don't care what people think. And it's going to be your definite mindset all the time. You have to change that conditioning. 40 years ago, and it's not going to change overnight. You have to work. That's why I say you have to work on it every day. And you have to make sure that you're confident in what you do, because that will show you, you know, that will show you, just like you said, you have to be able to talk about this thing that you do like nothing. And you can do it with your eyes closed. That's what you should be selling. That thing you can do with your eyes closed, that you know, like the back of your hand, that's what you need to be doing. That's going to build your confidence. But 40 years of conditioning is what I'm working on too.
Yeah.
So.
And you are such a powerhouse.
And I don't know what the next question. Thank you.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? If there's something you want to bring to the table, let's talk about it.
Uh-oh. You there?
I am.
Nothing. No. I lost you for a second, I think. I will see what your next question was, because I might have been getting ahead of myself.
No. I was just going to start to wrap it up. So if there's something you want to bring to the table, let's just talk about that.
So I think the one thing that I've learned with you the most that's really been impactful, although there are several, the one thing is reaching out, because you have to go after your business. You have to go after your customers. You can't just sit back and hopefully somebody's going to come knocking on your door, right? Or come in your inbox or in your email. You have to go after it. And I'm telling you, when I went after it, that's when people were like, really? You want me in your program? You think I'd be perfect in your program? I mean, and to me, that's another mindset thing too. Like, people really like feel like they need to be invited in. They need to be invited. Not, you know, like, and in my head, I'm thinking that people are just gonna, if they want it, they're gonna reach out to me. So I'm just gonna sit here and wait, chill, wait. That didn't work. That doesn't work.
So many people believe that, right? I'm so glad you brought that up, that if I just, you know, splatter a bunch of stuff on social media and kind of say what I do, that eventually the people who need me will reach out. And honestly, they're having their own conversations about doubt, whether they're qualified, all kinds of stuff. And you're so right. When you reach out to people, they're like, what? Really? You want me? I reached out to somebody yesterday and they said, I am totally flattered. Wow, I'm floored. And you think, like, for me, because I'm going after the high level women that I know that I want in my program. Yeah. You're thinking, oh, there's so many other people they could coach with, right? But I know that I get this sense in my knower, this person needs to be like a part of my community, in my tribe. I'm their person. Yeah. And when you reach out, it's almost like you're Oprah to them, like, me, right? We don't give ourselves that credit. And so we don't. And while you're waiting and not reaching out to people and saying, I want you in my program, I have something coming up, I think it will be a good fit for you, they end up investing somewhere else and not getting the results or doing nothing at all. And it is a game changer. It's a game changer for both you and them, because you get that reflection back and that validation that, wow, what I'm doing is working. And there are people who desire it.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just too scared to reach out to you. They're too scared, or something else is holding them back. I heard a story the other day and I totally forgot about it. That has to do with this, but you have to reach out to people and not be scared, and be okay but you have to practice that. You might get rejected. You might get ignored.
Yeah.
You might. They might not be ready, or they don't want to hear you, or they don't, whatever that's going on with them. That's not your problem. Yeah. That's not your problem. And you have to be able to get over that. And that has been a game changer for me. That's why I'm how much money I made this year. This month. Yeah. This year. This month and this year.
Right. Absolutely.
That was the difference. Huge difference.
So I want to kind of wrap up with some words of encouragement, inspiration, or what would you say to someone who is on your similar journey? Someone who maybe has had a business for a few years, a year, and they just aren't where they desire to be, and they know there's more. And it doesn't matter what level of revenue you're at. You could be And I know people who've been at six figures for years and they've not been able to break into multiple six figures. It doesn't really matter. But just this journey of not being where you know you could be by now. And maybe you're having doubts, like maybe I should stop this. I don't know what to do next. Maybe you did some investments that didn't quite turn out right, so it has you a little gun shy. So what would you say to somebody on a similar journey as you, who's completely badass at what they do, who knows their stuff, but they're having that experience and maybe they're looking for like, what's next for me? You know, do I need to get support? You know, how do I take my next steps to I want to have a $40,000 a month. I want to, you know, add six figures to my business this year, whether it's my first or into multiples. Heck, I'd like to have a $500,000 business. I know I can do this, but I'm gun shy. What would you say?
I would say, you know, you have to take risks. You have to take big risks on yourself. It's either going to be a lesson or it's going to be a big reward, right? You have to be able to do that in order to be in business and to be a successful business owner, entrepreneur. You have to take those big risks. And also it's like, do your homework, study somebody before you work with them and make sure they're going to be a good fit. Have a conversation with them. Don't be shy to have that initial conversation. And if you're not feeling that person, then you don't move forward with that person. Have that initial conversation. Don't just sit back and wait and let years and days pass you by. Have an initial conversation to feel if that person is the right person for you. And also I had it. I'm sorry. Just went blank, Shamika. Have that.
I'm like, just breathe.
I have so much I have to say. Everything's going on in my head right now. And you always forget it when you go live sometimes. But what I was going to say is that, oh my God, I just went blank.
So the first thing you were saying was you need to have a conversation with people.
Have a conversation with people. Take big risks on yourself. And it was about you. This third one. The third one is just, you know, like your success is her success. If you're thinking about working with Shamika, this is what I'm saying, is that she is going to push you. She is going to push you to your limit, but she cares. She really wants you to be successful. And she's going to do whatever it takes to get you there, right? She's going to do whatever it takes to get you there. I've had different coaches. I work with different people, and, you know, they're going to give you the information and they kind of let you go. But I feel that I can come to her for anything. I can tell her anything. She kicks me in the butt. Sometimes I am speechless on the things she says to me. But like, oh shit, really? Excuse my language. but I need somebody like that. And I think badasses and powerhouses need somebody like you to get in us and push us to the next level. If not, we'll stay on the same path, you know, and not go to that next level. And we need somebody like you to take it to that next level. So take a chance on yourself.
Yeah.
Is what I'm telling people.
I love that you brought that up, because here's the deal. Like you coach powerhouses to be powerhouses. It's the same for me.
Yeah.
The people who are meant to come into my world, they need somebody who has a container that can hold their power. Right. So I can handle more than one powerhouse at a time. And there's going to be times where you might not like me for the day, for the minute, for the hour, for a couple of days. It doesn't really matter. Right. But I'm going to hold you accountable to the results that you say you want for yourself and to the level that I see you, because I see, you know, the next version of you. I don't see you where you are right now. I don't see the you of your past. All I see is your possibility. And so when you're not operating at that level, heck yeah, I'm going to call you on it. It's absolutely going to happen. And I think it's important that you are connected with people and mentored by a person or people who can do that for you, especially for women who are badasses and go-getters, right? Everybody doesn't need a kumbaya circle, right? You want to hang with people who can roll with you, who can slay with you, and who will hold you to your greatness, not allow you to slip under the radar because you're so brilliant. And when you open your mouth, you can just talk your way out of anything. I can see right past that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
It is so true. Like I need people. That's what I need in my life. That's why I picked you, because I needed somebody to check me when I needed to be checked. And it's like, you know, come on, let's reel it back in. Let's get it together. Where I wasn't going to be the one overpowering the conversation. Not saying that you do, but this is you are our coach in this.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm good.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is we still have a lot of fun. So I want to see if you guys have questions, because we have just a few more minutes left, and I want to make sure that if you guys have questions for Chandra, about something, that we get those answered. It doesn't look like there's questions. Look like people are just kind of listening to the story, which is amazing as well.
Yeah.
I'll give it a few minutes because I know my internet is janky right now.
Yeah, I think things are coming in slowly. I think comments are coming in slowly too. It seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's see. All right. I don't see any comments or questions that are coming up. I'm going to look one more place just to be sure. While I'm doing that, I want you guys to know that I do currently, I'm opening enrollment for the next round of Play Big, which starts the end of April. Basically, we start May, but our first kickoff call is the end of April. And so if you've been watching me for a while, if you just started watching me and you are interested in knowing what it takes to work with me, reach out. You can just message me. You don't even have to go to a link to apply. Just shoot me a Facebook message and say, I want to know more. And I will tell you that to who comes into programs with me. So I'll give you the first barrier for Play Big, besides the willingness to get uncomfortable and really be held to a high standard. You do need to be doing about $50,000 a month. I always do that. So used to dealing with big numbers.
I like that.
You be doing that next month. You need to be doing at least $50,000 a year. In order for you to jump into that container, because that's where we accelerate your growth. So if you're figuring out what you want to sell, I have other programs for that. But here's the thing. I know that people know when they're called to me. I know that people know when their next step is me.
Yeah.
Sometimes the fear stops you. And you could be like Chandra. You could be on my hit list and not even know it. You'll get a message from me. You'll know. She was on my list.
Okay, I knew I was. I knew I was. Not but by your actions. So, I just knew. I knew.
You're like, it's for me. So, but I want to talk about this real quick as we wrap this up. So that's your invitation to join me for Play Big. You'll hear me talking and posting, and I'll be training on that. But one of the things about having this, going after your ideal clients, is it's like writing the vision and making it plain. If you know there's a certain level of people that you want in it, so put them on a list. All you're gonna do, what you focus on grows. Somebody wrote that earlier. I don't remember who put that comment in. What you focus on. So if you're tired of people showing up who can't afford you, and you're tired, at least 4 messages this month from people that I basically have no real relationship with, who just sent me a link to their thing that quite frankly I wasn't even interested in. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about write the vision and make it plain. Just like you write out your business plan and your vision, what's the type of client that you want to work with, and you will begin to draw them in. So I want to leave you guys with that. My desire for you is that this year is the year you blow your own freaking mind. This year is the year you challenge what you believe is possible for you. This year is the year that we flip the script on possibility. And I'm looking for people who want to go on that journey with me. We want to press the edge of your comfort zone. We want to turn your annual income into a monthly income for you. Just wow the heck out of yourself. It's totally possible. It's totally doable in the right container. Chandra, any last words you want to share before we wrap up?
No, I think you said it all. You said it all. Everything that you just said is what I feel and what I know is going to happen for me for 2019. So don't sleep on opportunity. That's one thing that I tell people, because it'll be gone tomorrow. So stop sitting on that, because then you're going to be shoulda, coulda, woulda. And we don't want you to be there.
Absolutely. Well, Thank you so much for sharing your behind the scenes. Listen, guys, it's not easy for a powerhouse to come in and share their doubts, their insecurities, their fears, and their journey. So I'm always so grateful to my clients who step up and say, you know what, I'm willing to pull the curtain back and let people see in. Because this is the reality. We can just come on here and go, oh, she knocked it out of the park. It only took 30 days and all of this other stuff. But that's not reality. I need you to know that you're not alone. So Chandra, thank you for being willing, a willing vessel, for being an example of possibility for other people. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Bye, everybody.
All right, guys. We're taking off. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.